Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The 2020 NFL season has officially ended. So for the last time, I will be giving you your NFL recap. This time, we're talking about Super Bowl 55. This is it, man. This is all the energy I got left. I'm giving every bit of hype I have left to talk this game. And before we even get into what happened, oh boy, I have to congratulate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for winning the Super Bowl. They dominated. Todd Bowles' defense dominated. That defense was ferocious. They shut down the Kansas City Chiefs offense. And that speaks to me because I've talked about how I have not seen a team shut them down at all this season. And they went out there in the Super Bowl and did it. Wow, well done to that defense. They were the biggest factor of this game. Shutting down Mahomes, and that offense did everything for the Bucs. And again, as much as it pains me to say, because I do not like him as a player, but I have the utmost respect for him as a competitor, as a quarterback, and I have respect for his legacy. I have to congratulate Tom Brady for winning his 7th Super Bowl championship. I know I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but a Tom Brady video is going to be coming up because I have something to say. Now that this man just completed what could arguably be the greatest postseason run we've ever seen, I have to say some things. And even though I don't like Tom Brady, I have to accept this cold reality. So congratulations to Tom. Congratulations to the Buccaneers. Go out and celebrate. Y'all did y'all thing. Well, I mean, y'all can't celebrate. We're still in, kind of still in quarantine. Well, go out and just party at home safely. We still social distancing, right? We you know what? We ain't worried about that. How y'all want to handle that. But, Tampa Bay's celebrating right now. But, yeah, man, this game, I'm going to get it out of the way, Chiefs fans, because I already know y'all going to talk about it. Oh, my God. We were cheated out of this game. The refs were god-awful. They just gave all the calls towards Brady. They were pandering to Brady again. They bailed out Brady and just helped him win another ring. They cheated us out of a Super Bowl. Just got that out the way for you, Chiefs fans. And I'll sit here and admit, the refs were awful in this game. The one thing they did well was be consistent. And if you saw my video regarding the NFC Championship game between the Packers and Bucs, the one thing I was so pissed off at was how the refs were inconsistent with their officiating. If you're going to officiate the game one way, you have to continue to officiate it that same way. Well, they took that to heart. The championship games, they weren't calling a damn thing. This time, they called everything. My God, and it was all towards the Chiefs. The Chiefs had what, seven penalties against them for 95 yards. That was the most yards of penalty that's ever happened in our first half in Super Bowl history. I mean, come on. People are just looking at this at this point, you're just cheating to give it to Brady. And the worst ones, the holding calls, I can give some of that credit because there was some holes there, okay? But the pass interference calls, oh my God, the first one, if you take a look at it carefully, first of all, the ball's not catchable. Second off, the defender tripped over Mike Evans' foot. So it really should have been more incidental contact. But with that one, I can kind of understand why they would call that pass interference. It's close, so I can see what I would choose to call that. Because in some cases, it felt like since he kind of reached out his arm, even though he was falling, they looked in and said, yeah, he was he was interfering with that contact. So I can see that one. The second one, on Matthew, in the end zone, that ball wasn't even catchable. The dude could have been 10 feet. He's not catching that football. How is that pass interference? That one was a terrible call. They weren't even trying with that. So yes, the refs were god-awful. And you can argue a lot of the points that, not even a lot, but some of the points they put up really were due to the penalties. At the end of the day, if you want to sit back and be grudging, I can give you and say what? You got possibly 15 points, right? 15 points. I'll give you 15 points. Say 15 of the what was I about to say? But no. 15 of the Bucs' points were specifically due to penalties that gave them the advantage. If you want to do With that being said, despite that 15 points, you guys still lose the game. Why? Well, let's actually get into it. So Chiefs fans, I understand your frustration with the refs. They were awful. They were pandering to Brady. What else is new? They always do this. When you have Tom Brady in the Super Bowl or just in the championship game, the refs always favor him. We've known this for years. We're not even hiding that. It's been clear facts. We have the evidence. So, it is what it is. You just have to play through it. And how do you play through it? By being efficient on offense. Well, let's speak on that. Because even though everyone wants to look and say all the penalties that was happening on the defense was causing all this stuff, it was a big part about the cheating. Nobody seems to want to talk about the offense and how terrible they were. So let's actually get into the recap. Offense. Golly, Patrick Mahomes looked awful today. Is it his entire fault? No. But does he deserve the criticism? Well, based on how the fans have been and the media have been towards my quarterback, Lamar Jackson, yes. Go and look at the video I just posted about Patrick Mahomes getting a taste of Lamar Jackson's world. Go look at it, understand the context, and understand that if y'all gonna treat one elite quarterback or one quarterback that's great, if you're gonna treat him like that and put all the blame on him when it's not his fault, you still have to do the same. Even if Mahomes is the best quarterback. We have to be fair with this. Either you choose to do that or you understand that this is a team game, and if everybody doesn't show up, you can't win the game. But then again, people are trolls. They're going to continue to say stupid stuff. But it is what it is. But yeah, Mahomes was not great in this game. And it wasn't his fault. Honestly, man. Whew, I'll say this. It's a good thing the Chiefs made that comeback against the Niners last year. Because had they lost both those games and had Mahomes continued to play the way he was playing, oh my God, Mahomes would have posted two of the worst Super Bowl stats we've seen. He was awful today, and he was not that great in the Super Bowl. Had they not made that comeback, people were going to crucify Mahomes for that too. This is not good. But again, Mahomes was not good today, but it wasn't his fault. The man made a lot of amazing plays. It just weren't catched. I mean, what can you do? When your receivers aren't catching the football, what can you do? Tyreek Hill did nothing for most of this game. Everyone out, Tyreek Hill, when Sammy Walker was on the field, couldn't do anything. None of their weapons could do anything. Nobody could catch. The only person that was doing something was Kelsey. My God, if it wasn't for Kelsey, I don't know how this game would have looked. Kelsey was the only one that showed up, which is probably why he had over 100 yards receiving today. Because he was the only one that was doing anything. Now, granted, he started off the game slow. He also dropped the pass. But, towards the second quarter, once he got to the second quarter, deep into that, and for the rest of the game, Kelsey showed up and did his thing. But what can Mahomes do if his receivers aren't getting open and they're not catching the football? He cannot throw it and catch it to himself. Another thing people want to blame on Lamar, when I keep telling Lamar can't throw and catch himself, but now Lamar's the reason. But yeah, Mahomes can't throw the ball and catch it himself. They have to catch the ball. And the receivers didn't do anything today, other than Kelsey. They tried to get something going in the run game, but at times, there's nothing you can get there. They really just had to rely on the pass game to try and get back into it, because that's what they always do, and it just didn't work out. They couldn't finish drives. Why couldn't they finish drives? The god-awful performance by this offensive line. To be fair, the offensive line, they were missing two guys. Did you know? Did you know that two guys were injured? Yeah, they had two offensive linemen that were injured in the Super Bowl. That definitely made the difference. Oh, but wait! Lamar dealt with that the entire season. He dealt with that for much of the season and in the playoffs. But it was Lamar's fault. So, what do we do here? Should we be fair and say Mahomes wasn't getting protected? Or should we treat him like Lamar Jackson and say, well, it doesn't matter if he wasn't protected. It's all his fault anyway. Well, since I have common sense and I actually understand the game of football, I'm not blaming Mahomes for his offensive line not doing their job. At the same time, they were missing two starters. So you're going up against a ferocious defensive front that Tampa Bay has, and you're missing two starters? Obviously, that was not going to look great. We were talking about it coming into this game. If they could not protect Mahomes, this game was going to be bad. And guess what? They couldn't protect Mahomes, so it ended bad for the Chiefs. So I'm not surprised to see that happen. It was to be expected if they were not going to make stops. Mahomes had no time to throw. All game, he's either taking deep dropbacks, or he's just scrambling to his right or scrambling to his left and trying to make something happen. 6, 7, 8 seconds holding on to the football, hoping to God somebody can please get open. Nobody can get open, nobody can get separation, and when he would throw it to them, nobody would catch the football. This man was diving. At one point, even in the fourth quarter, he was diving. He was sideways, and as he was falling, he threw a perfect pass that could have been caught. Hit the receiver right in the helmet. Incomplete. On fourth down. What is Mahomes supposed to do? Nothing. But guess what? People are going to call him garbage and say he choked because people don't understand if your weapons don't show up and if your offensive line doesn't protect you, you as a quarterback can't do anything. But yeah, this offense for Kansas City, man, they were god-awful. They got completely out-physical, out-manned, and just outsmarted by the Bucs defense. They completely broke the will of this Kansas City offense. It was so bad watching this offense because it just felt like Mahomes was doing everything in his power to carry this team and nobody was coming alongside with them. That's point number 3 for Lamar Jackson. How many times have I talked about Lamar trying to carry the team and nobody comes with them? See what happens when nobody comes with your quarterback and they leave him out there to dry? Bad performance. But does anybody listen? Nope. It's all the quarterback's fault because he gets the most credit when they win, so he should get the most blame. Which, again, I never understand why we would do that with football. I understand basketball. In the NBA, you can do that. Like, if the team wins, you can give a lot of credit to LeBron. I understand that. That's just what we do. Great players get that. But in NFL, specifically with football, when you have offense and defense, we're going to give it to one guy? That doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, offense was terrible, man. Offense was terrible. They did nothing. And the worst part is that they actually looked scared. They looked nervous to start this game off, and they were never able to shake that off. They never got in the rhythm. The way I saw the first half going, I wasn't really surprised, specifically in the first quarter. The Chiefs always they always start off the game cold, and then at some point they just explode and break out and get big plays. That didn't happen today. They never got off the ground. They were cold the entire game. They could never be consistent. They could never get into a rhythm. And that all has to do with how that Bucs defense tormented them the entire game. Nothing the offense could do. It was an absolute dismantling of the Chiefs offense. Now we move over to the Chiefs defense. On one hand, there were a lot of bad penalties that went against the Chiefs defense. We know that. But at the same time, there were plenty of penalties that were validated, that were just stupid. It was just stupid, and it was detrimental, and it was harming them. The offsides that was called when the Bucs were kicking a field goal, the holding call that was called on a pick that Matthew got, the personal foul, the 2 personal fouls that happened in the second quarter that the first one gave a 15-yard penalty, the other was just a personal foul for no reason. Like, the Chiefs defense was harming themselves with penalties, and some of those were definitely validated. This defense did not show up today. They were getting manhandled even worse than the Chiefs offense. They looked scared. My God, Fournette had some runs in this game where it just looked like he was taking on the entire defense and they just couldn't stop him. Brady, oh my God, Brady. I don't think he threw a touchdown the entire second half, but the first half, he did exactly what he needed to do to win. I believe he had 3 touchdown passes in the first half, 2 to Gronk, 1 to AB, and I believe he completed 80% of his passes. That was the best stat line we've ever seen in the Super Bowl. 3 touchdown passes and 80% completion, another great thing for Brady. Here's another great thing for Brady. He also scored a touchdown the first quarter for the first time in his career in the Super Bowl. So that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Man, that's just wow. This Chiefs defense was pathetic. It was absolutely embarrassing. They just got manhandled and they got in their feelings too much. Once I saw Matthew just start straight up go after Tom Brady and go at him and just start arguing with him, and he was getting heated on the sideline, I knew the Bucs most likely had this one because they got into the head of Matthew, who's the leader of the defense. He's literally one of their main leaders. He's their guy. If he spazzed out and he's in his feelings and he's losing control, what does that say about the rest of the defense? They tried to calm him down, but it really just seemed like he was just completely out of it for the rest of the game. Like, he was trying to get himself composed, but he was getting his feelings, and the rest of the defense was getting their feelings, and they were starting to jar at it with the Bucs players, and they just started to look bad. I mean, this game was sad to watch. It was completely sad to watch. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, this was absolutely disappointing to watch. And just get ready for what's going to happen the next couple days. Trust me, a lot of people have been waiting for your downfall. Brady getting a 7th ring, yeah, for the Brady haters is going to suck, and nobody wants to see Tom Brady win another Super Bowl, of course, but, like, the Chiefs fans talked way too much trash. And I've expressed this 1,000 times. You put any team in that scenario, they're going to talk trash too. That's what sports fans do. But you understand, with that, we always have an unwritten code. If you're going to be arrogant and talk trash, your team better back it up. They didn't back it up by winning the Super Bowl. So Chiefs fans are about to get completely berated by everybody. And Mahomes fanboys are about to get completely berated. And again, Mahomes still the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. This was just a bad performance. His first horrible performance of his career just happened at the biggest stage. It sucks, but it happened at the biggest stage. So it is what it is. Not to mention, that was the first time Mahomes has ever been blown out in an NFL game. So that also hurts. But that also speaks for his greatness. He's never been blown out until now. And of course, it would happen to Tom Brady. The one person I said Tom Brady's had Patrick Mahomes' number. The only quarterback that's had Patrick Mahomes' number has been Tom Brady. And it happens in the Super Bowl, and he just outplays him and outbeats him and just blows out his team. It's just sad. For Chiefs fans, for the most part. Everyone else is kind of happy, and they're going to be going after the Chiefs fans the whole week and probably for quite some time. People are not going to forget this performance. At the end of the day, history remembers the winners, and history likes to laugh at the losers. And they're going to laugh at the Chiefs. That Super Bowl last year was great, but people remember things right now. No one's going to look back to last year and look at how Mahomes made all those comebacks. People are going to look at this year and say, yeah, Patrick Mahomes looked like garbage in the Super Bowl. And they're going to start making things up and saying, last year was just a fluke. You guys were lucky to win that. You're never going to win another Super Bowl. Prepare for all that nonsense. But anyway, we've talked about the Chiefs enough. Let's briefly talk about the Bucs, because there's not much to say about them. I mean, they just straight up dominated this game. Oh my God. I understand. Brady threw 3 touchdowns. And by the way, Steelers fans, it hurts. It hurts you, doesn't it? It really does hurt you. Antonio Brown not only caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl, he's a Super Bowl champion. Antonio Brown won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady of all people. Steelers fans gotta be hurt against that one. That has got to hurt you. That's gotta boil your blood. That guy, the way he ended up ruining your 2018 season, because he was a big part of that. He ruined the season. He just ruined the team and the season. Caused a lot of problems, and then got out of here, and then ended up with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, and now won a Super Bowl? Oh, that's gotta hurt Steelers fans. That's gotta hurt Steelers fans. But yeah, Tom Brady was brilliant in this game. And I definitely got to speak on him, but Tom Brady was brilliant in this game. Absolutely brilliant in this game. Give the man his credit. He played fantastic. Say what you want about the refs, but in terms of Brady's play, he did exactly what he needed to do to win. And Gronkowski was saving this. He said, I don't care about the regular season. I don't care about the playoffs. Call me when we get to the Super Bowl. Because when we get to the Super Bowl, me and Tom know how to hook up. And boy, did him and Tom know how to hook up. 2 touchdowns for Gronkowski in the Super Bowl. Homeboy was dominant. He was beasting and feasting. He almost broke a tackle, was ready to take it in for another touchdown. I mean, this dude was just a monster again. I don't think Brady minds having Gronk around if he's going to show up in the Super Bowl. He's like, don't worry, Gronk. I'll get us to the Super Bowl. Once we get there, you do your thing. We're going to shine. We're going to win another ring. It's easy money. But yeah, Gronk was beautiful. He was dominating. Gronk was Gronk. Thank God for that, huh? Gronk was Gronk. AB caught a few good passes, and he caught that touchdown. Mike Evans caught one good pass, 1 or 2 good passes. He tried to make some plays. He tried to get in the end zone, but there was nothing really there. He could have had an opportunity, but Brady overthrew it, and that was a pass interference call. God, I don't really think did much. Otherwise, the offense and Fournette was a beast. In fact, the entire running game for the Bucs was beasting today. They really manhandled those linebackers for Kansas City. It was bad, man. It was bad. That Bucs running game looked nice. They looked nice. They definitely looked nice. Overall, the offense just looked great. They were vibing. They were doing their thing, and they were just scoring, man. They were just scoring. So, give credit. Definitely got to give credit to them because they were doing their thing. They were definitely doing their thing. And I know people don't want to see it, but give credit to the entire Bucs offense for doing their thing. But at the end of the day, the story of this Super Bowl is the Bucs defense. My God. Man, they just completely dominated. They absolutely abused and manhandled the Chiefs offense. I never thought I would see something like this. I mean, the Chiefs couldn't finish drives. The Chiefs couldn't do anything because they were just consistently bringing pressure to Patrick Mahomes. Not only that, they completely shut down Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill went for over 200 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns against them when they made it week 12. That defense came together and said he is not going to score a single thing on us. And they made sure of that. They were double teaming him and it was being effective. Imagine that. They were double teaming him. They were really pressing on Kelsey, and they did good enough to stop. They not only took them out the game for most part, but they also made sure the other weapons weren't getting anything as well. They completely played a beautiful defensive game. I can't wait to see somebody break down the Bucs defense against the Chiefs offense in the Super Bowl, because they played beautiful football against that Chiefs offense. You can say whatever you want about the Patriots offense and Tom Brady versus that Chiefs defense and bring up the penalties. I don't care. You could have taken off the penalties and the points they gave for the penalties. They still would have won this game, because the way this defense manhandled the Chiefs offense, there was not a chance in hell that they were going to win this game. So I'm sorry. You can bring up the penalties, but you can't explain how this defense completely dominated that Chiefs offense. You take away the penalties, at best, I'll give you 16 points. I'll give you 18 points. I'll give you how many points you want. They had, 31 points? Let's take away 17 points. They still won the game 14-9. You can take away as many points as you want. I'm telling you, the Bucs were going to win this game, because the Bucs were going to win this game because this Bucs defense was manhandling the Chiefs offense. There was nothing the Chiefs could do. Nothing was working. All the trick plays, all the motions, all the plays that was working throughout the regular season, they shut it down. And they shut them down completely. Shut down Tyreek Hill. Nothing can get going. Mahomes throws 2 picks. What can you say? This Bucs defense was brilliant today. They were brilliant. There's no way the Chiefs were going to win this game with the way that Bucs defense was playing. That's a legendary performance, if you ask me. That one, we got to be talking about that for a long time, because that Bucs defense, man, give credit to the entire coaching staff, because that Bucs defense just put up a legendary performance. Against this Chiefs offense, the way they held them and the way they dominated against this Chiefs offense, and arguably, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the league, credit, you got to give credit. You really got to give credit. And Chiefs fans, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to go through this. I'm sorry that, the team didn't win this game. And I'm sorry you're going to look back and blame the refs for everything. But even if the refs didn't call those plays, I could take away 17 points based on the refs. You're still not winning this game. You're not. Because, again, the defense was too ferocious. They were too dominating. There was nothing this offense could do to stop the Bucs defense. I was watching this and I was in awe, because you guys have heard me. I talked about how this Chiefs defense, this Chiefs offense, no matter what you throw at them, they find a way to still win. You cannot contain them for 60 whole minutes. Well, guess what? The Bucs not only contained them, they shut them down for 60 whole minutes. Wow. This is a legendary performance, man, by that defense. And Tom Brady, you can argue this is one of the greatest performances he's put up. If not the greatest performance. Not greatest. No, definitely not greatest. He came back against the Atlanta Falcons. Where would the Super Bowl rank for Brady in terms of his dominance? You look at the first 2 Super Bowls, nothing really impressive there. He did what he needed to do and helped out, but we know the 2 rings came from Vinatieri. Then the third one, he was pretty good. Fourth one was that fourth one was against the Seahawks, yeah. And also, he was brilliant in the fourth quarter. That was a legendary performance by him. But again, he was still brilliant in the fourth quarter. 5th Super Bowl is where he made the comeback. And then the 6th Super Bowl was not really impressive. That was really a dominant defense, because they held the greatest show on turf to 3 points on offense. So yeah, I think this can rank 2nd or 3rd. Honestly, I put it 2nd. The 2nd greatest performance for Tom Brady in the Super Bowl was today, because this was something special, man. He really just looks like the GOAT. If you don't believe it, man, he really looked like the GOAT today. The GOAT goes out and plays like this. And obviously people are going to bring up refs and everything, but Tom Brady was just making every play that the team needed to make. I've never seen Tom Brady play better and this composed in the Super Bowl with the stakes, with the situation at hand, because he was just purely dominating. And he didn't need to be clutch, because he was just doing everything. It just seems like he was, the entire Bucs offense, they gauged what the Chiefs defense was going to give them in that first 3 and out. Ever since that first 3 and out, it's been an entirely different game. They straight up dominated them. It wasn't even fair. And I felt so bad watching the Chiefs defense go up against that Bucs offense. Because I can tell you now, man, it was looking bad. It was definitely looking bad. But yeah, credit to the Chiefs overall. And I understand, credit to the Chiefs, credit to the Bucs. Let's not credit the Chiefs. The Chiefs lost this game embarrassingly, and it was pathetic. But yeah, credit to the Bucs because they did well, man. They did fantastic. This Super Bowl, honestly, is going to be one of the worst rated Super Bowls, in my opinion. This Super Bowl was, when you look at the score, the hype around it wasn't really there, even though it should have. And everyone expected this to be a good game, but it turned out to be a garbage game. Last year's Super Bowl was more exciting than this one, and it lived up to the hype because you had Mahomes down again, the way he was the entire postseason in the fourth quarter, and he managed to make a comeback to win the Super Bowl. That one was exciting. This one was just a complete blowout. Mahomes just didn't look, he just didn't look like the whole Chiefs team just looked like they didn't belong in that field. And I know Buffalo is heated because Buffalo's like, man, especially Bills fans like, man, if our team would have just gotten it together and played better, I know we could have done better in the Super Bowl than what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl. I know a lot of people feel like that, man, but what can you do, Bills? If you would have beaten them in the championship game, that could have been you. Maybe you actually beat the Bucs and you win the Super Bowl. Who knows? But yeah, with that being said, this is it. The NFL season's over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. We will not be seeing football for the next 6 months. And you know what sucks? This is the last game we get. And it was honestly pathetic to watch. I expected this to go down to the wire. I think I had the Chiefs winning 35-31. And here's the funny thing. I predicted that the Bucs were going to get 31 points. And they got 31 points. But the Chiefs didn't live up to the hype because they didn't give me my 35 points. I asked for 35 points. They didn't give me my 35 points. How could they do this to me? How? Why, Chiefs? Why? You didn't live up to my score prediction because I thought the Chiefs offense would just be ready to do their thing. But that Bucs defense completely shut it down and said, no, we are not going to let this offense go off. We saw what happened when we first matched up with them. We're not about to lose this game because we let Tyreek Hill go off again. Nope. Bucs defense locked down and they did their thing. So yeah, sucks. Definitely sucks. But that's how it is. And yeah, once again, Bucs, I congratulate you guys for winning the Super Bowl. You guys played well. Defense dominated. Offense did what they needed to do to win. Made a lot of great plays. Tom Brady looked spectacular. The whole team just looked great. You guys were vibing the entire time. But yeah, this is really it, man. No more football for the next 6 months. And I'm not going to lie, this is going to leave an awful taste in a lot of Chiefs fans' mouth. This was embarrassing. Because this was supposed to be the start of a dynasty. And here's the thing. I understand the Chiefs still look good for the future. Their future's still bright. They're most likely going to be back here next year. If they just play the way they played for most of the season, they're most likely going to be back here next year. Obviously, as a Ravens fan, I hope my team's back here next year. And I know Bills fans are certainly hoping their team's here next year. But, we'll just see what happens. The Chiefs are definitely going to be Super Bowl contenders next year. Just because they lost this, I don't think they're just going to fall off. If they stay healthy, they're Super Bowl contenders next year. So they'll definitely have an opportunity to get back to the Super Bowl. But yeah, like I said, you have to win multiple championships to be considered a dynasty. Right now, it seems like the Chiefs are a dynasty in the making, but they're not a dynasty yet. You didn't win this game. In fact, you got incredibly exposed and absolutely embarrassed. Dynasties don't look like that for the most part. So yeah, you just gotta deal with it. And I'm sure from other people, Mahomes getting embarrassed by Brady in the Super Bowl automatically disqualifies him from the GOAT debate. Because how can you be considered the GOAT if you're going to get embarrassed by Tom Brady? So I'm sure now Mahomes is out of the GOAT debate based on that. But I don't know. Fans like to be just ridiculous with that. But it is what it is. But yeah, tough loss. Tough Super Bowl loss. Honestly, Chiefs fans, this is not how they would have wanted to go out. If they would have lost the heartbreaker in the AFC Championship game to the Bills, they could have lived with that if the Bills would have went on to do this. But imagine that, man. You got to the Super Bowl against Brady and the Bucs, Mahomes and the Chiefs. Then they go they were like 14-2, 15-1, whatever they were. They were just spectacular the entire season. And then they proceed to get to the Super Bowl, and they weren't spectacular. There were clearly some struggles on offense. Which, we saw the struggles on offense, but they were still winning. So we thought, hey, once they get to the postseason, they'll turn it on. And they did get to the postseason, and they turned it on, especially the AFC Championship game. So it's like nothing to worry about. This offense still going to do their thing. For them to get to the Super Bowl and look this bad, man, that hurts. That hurts. But yeah, with that being said, I think it's about time to wrap this up. I do got one last thing to say about the NFL. Thanks for an interesting season. You know, we didn't really think we were going to get here. With everything that's going on in the world, no one thought we would have an NFL season, and no one thought we would get to the Super Bowl. But we managed to do it, and you initiated protocols that helped out with that. Yes, there were definitely a lot of bad moments, specifically with my team and the whole outbreak. But you did what you can, and you know what? Somehow we got to the Super Bowl, and we finished it off the right way. So you just live with the results and just be happy that we managed to get it off. Just get the whole games, all 16 games done without having to extend it. We got everybody to the playoffs. We had an interesting playoffs. We got to the Super Bowl, and it is what it is. So congrats to the NFL for getting that job done. But yeah, thanks for an interesting season. The season didn't end the way I, as a Ravens fan, wanted it to end, but you know what? It was still an interesting roller coaster, and I'm used to that as a Ravens fan. I can't wait to see what happens next season. Hopefully by then, we'll see where the world is standing. Maybe things are a lot better off for that season, and at that point, I hope the Ravens make a lot of changes and improve in the offseason, and we'll just see if they can get to the Super Bowl next year. But I'm excited for next year. The future's looking nice in the AFC. A lot of talent at quarterbacks, a lot of talent just in general just going into the AFC. It's looking interesting. As for the NFC, Brady's there, so best of luck to you guys. And Breeze looks like he's heading out, so I don't know what to tell you. With that being said, this is it. That was my final reaction to the NFL season. I'll definitely be back with other topics. I'm going to definitely talk about Tom Brady. I might talk about Tom Brady tomorrow. I might talk about him next. But then again, I'm a little bit winded, so I might talk about him tomorrow. Because, like, my voice hurts. I've been making nonstop videos this entire time. So, yeah, we'll definitely be talking. We'll be recapping this season. We'll definitely be talking about that. I'll probably make a compilation video of my reactions. I got things planned regarding this season. So, we'll definitely be talking about that. And, of course, the offseason is here. So, we'll talk about the offseason, so many things. But, yeah, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's really all I got. Super Bowl 55, kind of a disappointment. Didn't really live up to the hype. Brady blew out Mahomes and the Chiefs. It did not look great. But at the end of the day, we at least got to see one more game of football. And now it's off to the offseason, where everybody's got a shot now, and anybody can make the Super Bowl. At least that's what we hope to believe. But, you know, Brady will probably be there next year and win his 8th ring. Who knows? This is how the NFL is. With that being said, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching, and I'm out of here. Peace. Thank you for a great season, NFL.